Hello, everybody. Welcome back to this fabulous book, Shiloh, by Phyllis Reynolds Naylor. Wow, that last chapter, chapter 10, man, had my heart pounding. Poor Shiloh has been attacked by the baker's German Shepherd. And not only, that's not the biggest issue, is it? It's a pretty big issue. But now, Marty's dad knows the truth. I think Marty's in a lot of trouble. And I know Shiloh's in a lot of trouble. He's at Doc Murphy's house, recovering right now. I hope he makes it. I have faith that he will. Will you join me on chapter 11, page 88? I want you to read along with your eyes on your book as I read it aloud to you. It's only after I lie back down on the couch that night that I realize what all I've done. To Ma and Dad, for one thing. Ma's still awake. I can see the light in the bedroom as Dad goes down the hall. And then I hear the voices. Not all of what they say, but enough. Ray, I told you. I just found out about that dog myself.
Secrets from me. You and Marty.
Till tomorrow. I would have told you then.
Every day. Mailed at Judd's place. Mentions that dog to me, and all the time. Up on my own property, me not even knowing.
I bring my arms up against my ears and hold them there. So many things going wrong. It's hard to remember anything going right. Doc Murphy knows I've got Judd's dog now. Dad's mad at Ma, and we won't know till tomorrow if Shiloh's even going to make it. Worst of all, I'd brought Shiloh here to keep him from being hurt, and what that German Shepherd done to him was probably worse than anything Judd Travers would have brought himself to do, short of shooting him anyways. This time, when the tears come again, I don't even fight. I don't even try holding back. I must have slept through Dad's going off to work the next morning, because when I wake, Becky's standing beside the couch eating a piece of honey toast and breathing on my face. There, Lynn's already told her about the dog because she asked right off, "Where's he at, the doggy?" I sit up and I tell her the dog's at Doc Murphy's and we'll find out how he is that afternoon. Then I look in the kitchen at Ma. There's the set look about her lips that means trouble. That means don't mess with her because she's already in trouble with Dad. I go outside, pick me a couple of wormy peaches, and I sit on the stoop eating them, spitting out the wormy places. Darlene comes out and sits beside me. Today she's all kindness. "Well, Judd Travers don't take care of his dog, Marty. No wonder it comes up here," she says, trying to say the right thing. I can tell she's been figuring it all out from what she could overhear between Ma and Dad and anything else Ma told her. I take another bite of peach. "Well, it wasn't like you stole him," she says. "That dog just come up here on his own." "Just hush up, dear Lynn," I say, which I had no business saying. Just didn't want to talk to anyone, that's all. "Well, you could have told me and I wouldn't have told anyone." "Thanks." "Ma says we got to give him back to Judd Travers when he's better." I get up and I start towards the hill to clean up the ground where Shiloh was attacked. See if there's any way I can put some fence wire over the top of the pen to keep out the shepherd. "What's his name, Marty?" Darlene calls out after me. "Shiloh," I tell her. I'm only halfway up the hill when I hear the car and turn around. It's Mrs. Howard's car and David's in it. Soon as he sees me, he jumps out. It's still moving a little, and he comes running towards me. "I get to stay here today," he yells, waving a kite he's brought with him. "Everyone else is going to Parkersburg, and I didn't want to go." I look over to where Ma and Mrs. Howard are talking and see Ma nodding her head. I get lonely sometimes up at our house, but today I want to be with that loneliness. I don't want to talk to Darlene, to Becky, to Dad, or even to Ma. If we had a telephone, I'd be calling Doc Murphy every hour. As it is, I have to wait till Dad comes home from work before I can find out about Shiloh. Can't go down there pestering Doc, him with patients to see. "What do you want to do?" I asked David, trying to dig up the least little bit of enthusiasm. David and I are in the same grade, even though he's taller and heavier and looks like junior high already. I want to try this kite out over in your meadow, he says. I lead him around the long way, away from Shiloh's pen, and he doesn't even notice because he's unwrapping his kite, made of silk or something, which one of his relatives brought him. We stand out in the meadow flying the kite, and I watch the blue and yellow and green tail whipping around in the breeze, and I'm thinking about Shiloh's tail, the way it wags. You get a dog in your mind, it seems to fill up the whole space. Everything you do reminds you of that dog. When we bring the kite down later, though, David sees a groundhog. The next thing you know, he's after it. Groundhog zigzagging this way and that, David yelling like crazy. I'm taking your kite back down to the house, David. I yell when I see him getting near Shiloh's pen. He goes on running and yelling. I'm gonna give me a handful of them soda crackers. You want to make some peanut butter cracker sandwiches? I call out, trying to get him to follow. Then his yelling stops. Hey, he says. I know he's found the pen, and I walk over. What's this? David asks. He looks at the blood on the ground. Hey, what happened here? I go over and yank his arm and make him sit down. He's looking at me all bug-eyed. You listen to me, David Howard, I say. Whenever I say David Howard, he knows it's serious. Only did it twice in my life. Once when he sat on the paper flower pot I'd made for Ma at school, and once when he saw me with my pants down in the bathroom. That really made me mad. But today I'm not mad. I'm serious. Something awful and terrible has happened here, David, and if you ever tell anyone, even your ma and dad, may Jesus make you blind. That's the kind of talk my folks can't stand. But I got it from Grandma Preston herself. Ma says Jesus don't go around making anyone blind, but Grandma Preston always used it as a warning, and she went to church every Sunday morning and evening both. David's eyes are about to pop out of his head. What? You know Judd Travers? He was murdered? No! You know the way he's mean to his dogs? He killed one of his dogs in here? Oh, let me tell it, David. You know how he's missing a dog? Yeah? Well, it come up here on his own and I let him stay. I built him a pen and kept him secret, and I named him Shiloh. David stares at me again, then at the blood in the pen, and then back at me again. Last night, I tell him, Baker's German Shepherd jumped the fence and tore him up. We took Shiloh to Doc Murphy, and Judd don't know. David's mouth falls open and hangs there. Oh, wow, he says, and then he says it again. I tell David how hurt Shiloh was and how we've got to wait till tonight to see how he is, and then we go to his pen together, and David helps me clean up the blood, pull up all the grass with bloodstains on it, and throw it over the fence into the woods. It's easier somehow with David helping, with David knowing even. If it was me by myself, I'd be thinking again and again how this never would have happened if Shiloh could have got away from the shepherd. I look at David and think we're friends for life. Then I think of how there are exactly 7 people now who know I have Judd Travers' dog, and it's only a matter of time before somebody lets it out. Probably Becky. She'll warble it to the first person coming up the lane. Do you ever notice how the more a little kid tries not to tell a secret, the sooner it gets out? Nothing that a child can do about it. A secret's just too big for a little kid. What I didn't expect was that at 3:30, before Dad came home, here's Doc Murphy's car chugging up the lane, and he's got Shiloh in the back seat. Well, I'm standing out by the oak tree with David taking turns on the bag swing when I see the car and Shiloh's head raised up in the back seat. I'm over that car in 3 seconds flat. Shiloh! No cry ever sounded so happy as the one that come up out of my throat. All of us were crowding around the car, Ma and Dare Lynn and Becky and David Howard, and all of us saying like, Shiloh, here boy, and holding out our hands, and Shiloh's trying to lick everything in sight.
Patient recovered faster than I thought he would,
Doc says, getting his big belly out from behind the steering wheel and standing up.
So I figured I'd bring him on over myself.
And then to Mother,
Had patients coming in and out today. I don't know that I wanted them to see the dog.
She nodded. I'm going to pay for this, Doc Murphy, I tell him. You send the bill to Dad and he'll pay it, but then I'm paying him.
Well, son, that's a generous thing to do with a dog that's not even yours, he says.
Is he all well now?
No, not by a long shot. Think it's going to take a couple of weeks to heal, and I can't promise you that he'll walk without a limp. Walk without a limp. But I got him sewn back up and full of antibiotics. If you can keep him quiet for a few days and off that leg, I think he'll pull through just fine. Well, if Ma was mad at me before, she is not now. Not the way Shiloh's licking all over both of her arms, getting a quick lick in at her face every time she bends close. Becky's sticking her hand out for Shiloh to lick, and when he does, she squeals and pulls back, Shiloh's tail just going crazy. It's like a welcome home party. Ma has me bring in this cardboard box from the shed, and we put an old pillow in the bottom of it and cover it with a clean sheet, and Doc Murphy lays Shiloh down inside it. Shiloh seems to know he can't walk too good, because as soon as he tries to stand up, well, he sits back down again and licks at that leg. I'm glad Shiloh's back. I'm glad he's going to get better and that we can keep him till he's well. But the more I sit there petting his head, feeling his happiness, the more I know I can't give him up. I won't. Well, Shiloh pulled through. He survived the attack. And now he's back at the Prestons' house, recovering. But I think something is happening here. Marty has decided that even though he promised his dad that he'd give him up and take him back to Judd's, he just said there's no way he can do that. What do you think his plan is? There's only one way to find out. I'll see you over in chapter 12. See you soon and happy reading.